Welcome again, family. It's another one. This is the third one of my series of walkthroughs of my properties. How I have been interacting with solar for the last 15 years. So this is my story. As you can see behind me, this is our tiny house. Before we go any further, just listen to that. That, family, is the sound of a crystal clear spring water, basically, river. All right, for those of you who don't know, we are in Portland. We are in the Blue Mountains at the same time. You know, the Blue Mountains stretch across to Portland as well. This is just virgin forest, basically. You know, we love it here so much that we just started dropping cabins. This tiny house was one of the later ones that we did. This system is probably maximum 10 years old, the oldest piece of equipment. This is a tiny house. It's like a hotel room. Just to give you an idea that you can do something even if your budget is not, really big. This is a low budget build, low square footage. It's just the size of a hotel room. And it's a hotel room in the middle of this virgin forest. So you can imagine the demand is high. It sure beats walking through the forest to come to your hotel room than to go through a little hallway or, This is a pretty unique stay. As an income property, and I'm showing you that you can do something small. I'm going to tell you all of my business when it comes to the money for the solar and how much it costs to build a cabin this size, a nice tiny home, So let's take a look at the place, and we're going to take a look. This format is different because it's my place. I can show you everything. I'm going to show you the solar system, and I'm going to show you the tiny house as well. Let's take a look. As you can see, we set up a mosquito mesh because this is Portland, people. But you can just sit down here and just listen to the river all day. Of all of our cabins, this is the best sleeping cabin because of the sound of the river. Come on in. This is a tiny house, so don't expect no wonderful mansion square footage. Right? It's a nice size hotel room, as you can see. There's space between the bed, you can walk around. It's a queen size bed. We have the AC. It's a 12,000 BTU AC. So as I say, when I say it's a hotel room, like all the comforts of a hotel room, and some, because we do have a little bit more than just a regular hotel room. Being a tiny house, it's not a tiny room, it's a tiny house. I just turn on the AC. And the water heater, I may add. So just turn on those switches. Let's take a look at the kitchen. This makes it more than a hotel room. This is what makes it a tiny house. Because you get a nice, you hear the sound of that? You can hear the river from here, from the kitchen. Jeez. The river is right there, behind us, behind those plants. You have a full kitchen. You have your hot and cold water. I have a stove here, a refrigerator, super comfortable. So underneath here now, underneath the kitchen counter is where we got some business going on here now. This is on one of these older inverters that I had. As I said, at Essential Solar we don't sell these inverters. It's kind of outdated if you ask me, but some people really like them. This is just an inverter only, so you can't connect your solar panels to it. Our inverters are smart inverters. You can connect everything to it. This is an 8 kilowatt inverter. We didn't start with this one. We closed on one of the Island Eyewear stores and this inverter became available. Decided to just put it here instead of throw it in the storeroom. So it's working. So this is an old inverter. Definitely over 5 years old. So if you look around this little corner now, you will see the charge controllers. This is what the solar panels are connected to. At first we did one charge controller, but then we wanted to add panels, so we added another charge controller to add a different set of panels. So these two are your charge controllers. These are old stuff as well. As I said, it's separate. Your equipment pretty much follows you. You know, you use it here and then you say, doing something else with it. The panels that we have on the roof here are definitely over 5 years old. I added 3 new panels with the second charge controller, but the other panels, which were about 12, are old. It's a cabin in the woods. It's an off-grid tiny house in the woods. Off-grid, family, does not mean you have to use pit toilet. It don't mean you have to bathe with cold water. It's your choice. Because here, thanks to solar technology, we have lots of electricity available to warm up your water, to provide everything that you need that you would get in a hotel room. I would challenge you to point out something in a hotel room that's not in this tiny house right now. Now you can look. Nice, tiny, cozy little bathroom. Now family, when you're bathing in this bathroom, you're pretty much outside. Very private, because that's a hillside. That's basically the river is right there and the hillside is right there. So just imagine you're taking a bath, nice warm water, you know. So I just want to stress that thanks to solar technology, we're able to bring luxury to anywhere we want. It could be in the middle of a desert, really, to pretty much anywhere on earth. We have the ability to do this thanks to solar technology. All right, so this is a nice studio, tiny home. The square footage is 12 by 24 in total, including the balcony. So that's very low square footage. Hence, you can build it on a low budget. You know, I just wanted to show you that you can do this if you're interested, if you really want to experience life differently, off-grid. You know, get away from the city. If you want to have a nice little place, you can get away from the city. It doesn't have to be expensive. Any carpenter can build this. And then obviously, you can always contact us for solar. So, family, you know, I know a lot of us have land, you know, in the bushes that we probably put on for decades. A lot of us come from country, and you know, we went to the city to live, and some of us went abroad to live, but we still have our land. I'm just showing you what you can do with it. This is an income property. It's not just like you just spend the money and you just sit down there. We're making income at this property. This is an Airbnb. Just imagine, no light bill. We can pay our housekeeping quite handsomely because we don't have the stress of paying light bill and all these other type of bills. It's a big bonus, man. This is stress-free, you know. If you have land, you might want to consider putting it to use, and you can start small. You know, I think the last video I showed you guys one of my 2-bedroom, and that's an expensive venture. But you don't have to start there. You can start with a nice, tiny house. Stay tuned, because I've begun to calculate how much it costs us, including solar panels, to build an off-grid tiny house like this size, in the middle of the Blue Mountains. I showed you the inverter and the charge controllers. We have here 12 solar panels, and we added 3 bigger solar panels later. That's a little surprise at the end of the video. I'm going to show you why I added the extra solar panels, and I'm going to show you something about the batteries right now. Because a lot of you who might know about batteries and solar panels going to wonder is what may I do with so much battery? Let's go take a look. Let's take a look at this battery room. As you can see, family, it's raining, and that is one of the main reasons why here in the Blue Mountains having a good amount of batteries is important. All right. Welcome to my crawl space. Welcome to our little crawl space. Before I touch on the batteries, that's the water heater. This water heater only burns 1650 watts. To not have to buy such a big inverter, you buy a water heater that with 1650 watts power requirement. Here's the batteries. Each battery is 5 kilowatt hours, and there's 10 of them, so that's 50 kilowatt hours of battery power. You know, you only need about 2 of these batteries to run the AC through the night. So this could basically run 5 AC. If you're building a tiny cabin, you wouldn't need so many batteries. I think if it was just the cabin alone, I would only have 3 batteries. There's 2 reasons. So I'm going to show you the surprise at the end of the video. There's 2 reasons. One reason is we used to use a backup generator, and I kind of wanted to go away from that. You don't need so much batteries for a little tiny house. And this is fully off-grid. We have no backup power. Let us go and take a look at the little surprise. Why I need to add all of these 7 extra batteries. That's 35 kilowatt hours extra power, extra power storage. Let's take a look. Woo. So finally the rain stopped fall, so we can go take a quick look. So here we are. Look, a surprise. So this is a fully electric vehicle. So the reason why I put the extra batteries is so that whenever the river kind of flood out and we're not able to cross the river, we can still charge the EV on this side of the river. So we have an EV charger over here. Let's say we're in the Blue Mountains. I want to go to Kingston and come back. By the time I go Kingston and do a few errands and I drive come back, we would have probably used up about 25% of the battery in this car. That's approximately 25 to 30 kilowatt hours. I think this car should have about 100 kilowatt hour battery. So basically that's like 6 of the lithium batteries in my battery bank to fill this back up to 100% after I make a trip like that. If I empty the battery to 0, the battery bank is not big enough to fill up back this car. But I mean, it would take a proper trip to Negril and drive about Negril and drive up and down in Montego Bay and then drive come back to empty this battery. So basically it's just to make a Kingston trip and be able to come, you know, the river flood out, I don't want to cross it. Alright, let's park here and charge it here. So yeah, let me give you a tour of my little charging station. Basically we run a wire all the way from the house, cross the bridge, cross the river, and bury the wire all the way here. So here's my little roof, 2 stone hole in it, and all we do is set up a plug. So the charger comes with a particular type of plug, 220 volts. We just set up that, so we can plug it in. Right now the car is charging at 16 amps. I don't know if you can see all that. Right, so it's plugged in nicely here. right at the riverside. You know, but it's kind of nice to see it on the screen. Alright, so we have it plugged in because we actually went to Kingston a couple of days ago. So I plugged it in today. So you can see here, that particular plug is 3 kilowatts. Now I could use the 6 to 7 kilowatt plug, but I didn't want to pressure the inverter. Inverter is an 8 kilowatt inverter. So there you have it. So I always drive up and down. So I burn a lot of fuel. In this case, electricity. You know, back in the day, my fuel bill was easily over $100,000. That is how much I drive up and down. I don't have that bill anymore. So you know, the savings, they pile up. As you can see, you can have your off-grid tiny house. You can get rid of your gas bill. There's just many ways to use solar to really just make your life easy. It really de-stresses your life in many ways, you know, going solar. Cost of the tiny house that I'm going to tell you will not include the 7 extra batteries that I installed just to charge the EV. That will only include about 3 of the batteries, which is all you really need. 3 of them batteries is 15 kilowatt hours. That is a good amount of batteries just to run one AC and a little water heater. If you want to do extra like me, you can always do that. That's the thing about these, about solar. You can build on it. You can build, you can subtract, you can add, subtract, anything. You made it to the end of the video. I did some maths to build a tiny house full with solar power, off grid with batteries. It is $4.9 million, Jamaican dollars. That's about 30,000 US. This is an income property. I'm going to say that on a good month, you know, we easily make $1,000 US. So you can have an idea of whether or not it's a good investment or not. It's pretty much passive income. There's just so many positives here. Yeah. For those of us overseas, we have a piece of land, very rural settings. A lot of us have some land in some rural setting, not even road. You can access $30,000 in order to fully outright own a home with electricity included. All you need is a water tank, rainwater catchment. I really hope this helps those of us who might have wanted to have some added information on, you know, and what it would take to try to make a move like that, you know, over at Essential Solar. If you want solar system for your for any project really, no project is too small, you know, and no project is too big either. We're here for you. This is a tiny home, so it's 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, and 1 kitchen. And I'm sitting here in the front porch. Cost again is around $4.9 million with a solar system in the middle of the bush. So again, family, until next time, take care.